Welcome, welcome. We're going to get started in a few minutes. So if you are here, go ahead and drop in the chat and let us know that you are here and you are present, and let us know where you're from in the meantime. Hello, all. I see you guys are coming in. Continue to engage with one another in the chat. We're going to get started momentarily. Let us know where you're from in the chat. I see Dallas is in the building. San Diego is tuning in. Where else are you guys from? Atlanta, of course. We have New Jersey and Charlotte, Dallas again, Atlanta. I know we have a large following in the Atlanta area. Kansas City, New York. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Continue to engage with one another. We're going to let a few more people in before we get started today. We have some more New York people coming in. We have Boca Raton, Florida, Duluth, Georgia. Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I am very excited about today's session that we're having. I'm looking forward to this one. So welcome, everyone. My name is Sherelle Bailey. I am the Director of Events for the IT Senior Management Forum. And welcome to today's virtual networking event, Building a Thriving Ecosystem, Empowering Black Entrepreneurs to Create a $3 million Impact. For those of you all that may be joining for the first time and you may not be familiar with ITSMF, our mission is to increase the representation of Black professionals at senior levels in technology to impact organizational innovation and growth. And we do that by developing and nurturing these dynamic leaders through enrichment of the mind, body, and soul. In today's interconnected world, fostering a thriving, equitable ecosystem for Black entrepreneurs is more important than ever. This session that we organized today is a part of our Ignite initiative, and it aims to delve into actionable strategies for empowering Black entrepreneurs to create a significant economic impact of $3 million. Our speakers will discuss evaluating current business ecosystems, mitigating structural obstacles, how we empower entrepreneurs, and how to create a positive impact. Our speakers will focus on how the ITSMF Ignite Academy is going beyond being just another academy and stands as a clarion call for change with a firm focus on solutions and impact. I have the pleasure of introducing our speakers today that will facilitate this amazing conversation. First, we have our ITSMF's very own VP and Dean of the Global Institute for Professional Development, Robert Scott, where in his role oversees programs dedicated to the development of African American technology executives. Robert is certified as a diversity professional by the National Diversity Council and as a diversity trainer by the Cultural Intelligence Center. Previously, Robert worked as an information technology executive working at the Procter & Gamble Company for over 32 years and retired from the University of Michigan in 2020, where he worked as a director of diversity initiatives within the College of Engineering. Joining Robert in this conversation is Denise Smith, a visionary C-suite executive with 20 plus years of private and venture capital experience, specializing in product and technology operation strategy, M&A, turnarounds, and human capital management. She's a trusted advisor for angel, venture-backed, and private equity companies, accelerating growth with end-to-end value. Denise has a proven track record of leading organizations through challenging times, helping them achieve sustainable growth. She's known for her ability to navigate complex situations and deliver results. Denise also joins the ITSMF family as our very first ITSMF Ignite Academy director. As we prepare to hear from our amazing speakers, we ask that you continue to engage with one another and our speakers in the chat. And then following today's conversations, we will have live Q&A. So when the time comes, we encourage you guys to place any questions that you may have, and we'll be sure to answer those during Q&A. So without further ado, I would like to welcome Robert Scott and Denise Smith.
Well, hello, family. And hey, Denise, how you doing?
I'm doing well today. How are you doing?
Oh, great. Well, it's such a wonderful opportunity for us in this next entree in the virtual leadership series to talk about ITSMF's initiatives in the entrepreneur support space. As it was mentioned, I've been involved with a number of organizations in the past, but more recently, it's been all about ITSMF. I became a member in 2002 and have been involved with GIPD for the last 6 years. And it's just in the last 6 months or so that Denise has joined us. So Denise, welcome.
Well, thank you. I am very excited to be here today. This journey has been an invigorating ride, and I can't wait to share some of just what we're doing to build this ecosystem.
Excellent. Well, we got a lot to cover, but we want to hear from you first. So we'd like to actually start off with the first of several polls that we're going to do to give you all out there in cyberspace a chance to voice your opinions. So if we can bring up the first poll, what has motivated you to take time today to be here? Now, there are several ways that you can respond to this poll. There is a QR code that you can use to trigger in, or you can text ITSMF 001 to 22333 to enter our poll online and answer. So we want to hear from you. Why are you here? Why are you here? So please respond to that. We'll give you a few moments to kind of check in and let's see what we get. Okay, so I've been told by the powers that be to hang tight. I'm good at hanging tight. I pay attention to ChatGPT and others that tells me what to do.
This is the fun part. We wanted to really get an understanding of what people are here for today, but also just share some of the amazing things we're doing here at ITSMF.
Yeah. Okay, so we got one response. You're here because you want to support entrepreneurs, and that's really a big, important thing that ITSMF is focused on. So continue to send those responses. We're actually going to use this data not only to help us with our presentation today, but this is actually input for us as we continue to design our sessions going forward. So. Okay, so keep those coming, but I think what we should do, Denise, is pivot back and kind of move forward. Sherelle talked about the mission of ITSMF, and it's really focused on the development and growth of Black technology executives. But ITSMF also has a very powerful vision. And that vision is to envision a world with barrier-free opportunities for technology leaders, innovators, and influencers. Now, key operative word there is barrier-free opportunities. Right now, that doesn't exist for a lot of our Black leaders, particularly our Black entrepreneurs and founders. And so our focus, and it's a strategic focus now for ITSMF, it's one of our strategic planks, is to address this very explicitly for entrepreneurs, to come up with a way to help break through those barriers that's making it harder and harder for entrepreneurs to be successful. So we're going to talk a little bit about why that's important. Let's go to the next slide. We know that there is a fundamental wealth gap that's occurring, and it's not shrinking, it's actually getting larger. Here's some scary statistics. It'll take over 225 years for Black families to achieve the same amount of wealth as white families at the current rate. There is a huge racial distance between Black-owned and white-owned businesses that would have a huge impact on the GDP and the economy if we could impact that. Black founders receive less than 2% of overall venture capital invested each year, less than 2%. And Black businesses start with a significant hand tied behind their back in terms of financial support. These statistics contribute to the wealth and innovation gap that we're seeing, and this is our compelling reason at ITSMF for us to move forward and do something about it. Let's go to the next slide. We know that when Black-owned businesses are in existence, they can make a tremendous impact. But there's still right now a tremendous gap between the size and impact of Black-owned businesses and white-owned businesses. And the statistics are there for all to see. This is our compelling reason for making an intervention at ITSMF. And what we want to do is to talk more specifically about what that intervention is, what ITSMF can do, and what you can do in support of ITSMF to make a difference on this. So with that being said, let me pivot now. Denise, I'll hand off to you.
All right. Well, thank you, Robert. So good morning, good afternoon to some of you. I'm really excited to introduce you to the ITSMF Ignite Academy, and it's a one-of-a-kind business accelerator program. What sets us apart from the start is our targeted focus on Black technology founders. We specifically focusing on those who have established businesses generating annual revenues of over 1 million. And at the heart of ITSMF Ignite Academy, it is our commitment to provide a robust mentorship, coaching, and resource. Our primary goal is to empower these outstanding entrepreneurs to scale their businesses and secure long-term success. So let's just talk about our unique value proposition. Imagine a color-coded circle representation. The ITSMF Ignite Academy is represented by a green circle, symbolizing our more than 5 years of steadfast operation. So in contrast, our other programs represented by different colors are genuinely newer initiatives. And this longevity is a testament of our enduring commitment to the mission. So I should say that, Ignite Academy, this is our inaugural year, but Ignite forums have been around with ITSMF for more than 5 years. Although comparisons are inevitable, let's just address that. So unlike Deloitte Fast Track, EY Entrepreneurs Access Network, and others, our support for Black technology founders is not a sideline. It is our central mission. While other programs may be open to diverse founders, the depth and specificity of our resources and support are unparalleled. So this is beyond just another Academy Accelerator. Our target audience is at the core of our design. We don't just accept any applicants. We are dedicated to supporting Black technology founders, and beyond just the program, we are offering a built-in network, fostering a strong sense of community and connections among Black entrepreneurs. So I have a question now that I'd like to go ahead and begin polling for, and I'll take a moment to let Sherelle pull that up. And this question is around, what do you see as the most significant challenge for Black entrepreneurs during their business inception and growth? So you can do one or two things, scan the QR code, or go in and join by text by sending a message to ITSMF 001 and text to 22333. So we'll give you a moment for that. See what responses we get back.
And again, this is a very important question for us as we continue to think about how do we address the issue of building this ecosystem. So your thoughts and ideas and input on this would be greatly appreciated.
All right. Well, while folks are answering that question, we'll come back to the poll probably a little bit later at the end. But I'd like to move on to the next slide and just share that, to sum up, the ITSMF Ignite Academy fills a unique and vital niche in the entrepreneurial world. We are here to provide targeted, high-level support to Black tech founders with substantial revenues, a focus you won't find anywhere else. I warmly encourage all eligible entrepreneurs here today to explore what the ITSMF Ignite Academy can offer further. And with that, I will hand over to Robert.
Well, thank you, Denise. So one of the things that we recognize is that ITSMF brings a tremendous amount of resource and intellectual capital to the whole question of eliminating barriers to technology leaders. One of the ways we've tapped into this expertise is to form an advisory committee that is really helping Denise and I think about, in a very fundamental strategic way, how to move forward in this. This advisory committee is made up of entrepreneurs, people that are literally practitioners. It's made up of ITSMF leadership and board, and it's made up of ITSMF founders, each one bringing a very different perspective and experience to this question of how do you build an ecosystem to support business founders. We're very blessed to have a very active, engaged committee that is driving us forward. We're being supported by the ITSMF Development Organization, who is also helping us think about novel new ways to infuse capital to underscore what we're doing, to give us the tools and the power to be able to support entrepreneurs in a way that we think is really important. So we're blessed with that. I'd also want to move us forward to let you know that Ignite and entrepreneurship, next slide, Denise, has really been a core of a lot of events that we have done. As Denise mentioned earlier, the concept of Ignite has actually been in place for over 5 years. In fact, it may very well be longer than that. So in each of our symposiums, we have had gatherings of entrepreneurs to explore the opportunities and the issues that they're facing in building their businesses. This also has fostered a tremendous amount of networking and connections with folks. And we have done that in the past, and we will continue to do that going forward. We have a symposium coming up in October in Austin. There will be an Ignite forum at that session. In addition to that, we have had networking events in the past, and we're planning 2 networking events coming up in the future. And you'll hear a little bit more about that in a moment. The big idea here is that these events provide ways to connect people. What we are finding is the ecosystem is a relationship business, and we have to find ways to create connections so that leaders within ITSMF can connect with leaders in and outside of ITSMF in order to grow their businesses. So let me pass it back, Denise, to you to talk a little bit about our upcoming forums.
Yeah. So picture this. You have hundreds of like-minded tech professionals and entrepreneurs all gathered in one place. The energy is outstanding. It's electric. That is what Ignite Forums are all about. So these forums are not just your average tech events. They are meticulously designed, state-of-the-art gatherings created with a very clear mission. We aim to galvanize thought leaders, tech creatives, founders, executives, and offering tech-adjacent services. Our purpose is just to enrich the experience of our Ignite Academy participants and affiliates, creating a vibrant, interconnected community. Our forums are carefully created to offer maximum value. They consist of powerful panel discussions where leaders in the field share their insights and wisdom. We have keynote speakers, pioneers, and visionaries who are shaping the future of technology. But we're not just all about listening, we're about connecting. Our forums are rich with networking opportunities, giving you the chance to forge meaningful, lasting connections with peers and mentors alike. We recognize the critical role that supplier diversity plays in the modern tech ecosystem, and that's why we have specialists on hand dedicated to this important area. Our meetup groups offer more intimate settings for deeper discussions and relationship building, but that's not all. We are also proud to offer industry expert coaching, providing personalized guidance to help you navigate the complexities of the tech world. So these are some of the events that are coming up. This is how we are creating to that thriving ecosystem for our Black tech founders. And with that, we don't just stop
Yeah,
there. We
no.
move on to other things. Huh?
Well, yeah, but hang on a second. Go back to that slide because I really want to underscore the fact that we are really going to have a fantastic time in St. Louis. We've got an agenda plan that will bring together local business owners and entrepreneurs with our Ignite Academy, and you're going to hear more about the Academy in a moment. We are going to have pitch competitions. It's just going to be an exciting time, and we're so grateful to WWT for sponsoring us for that particular event in St. Louis. Similarly, we're going to have another wonderful forum in Charlotte hosted by Wells Fargo. They're sponsoring that particular activity. Very similar kind of agenda where it's a combination of our academy meeting with local entrepreneurs, and we're encouraging as many ITSMF entrepreneurs from across the country to come join us and be a part of that experience. I think it'll be well worth the trip to come out and connect with each other. We're also planning to have a forum session at the S2 Symposium coming up October 30th in Austin. And there we're still looking for sponsorship. So if there's someone who wants to step up and help support this ecosystem as we move forward, there is an opportunity for you to do so. And I would encourage you to reach out to Denise or myself or to our development arm to come and connect with us. We'd be happy to talk to you about that. So I'm sorry, Denise, I'm just so excited about that. I just couldn't help but just talk about that some more. So now
Yes.
let's move on to the next slide.
And hopefully everyone can mark their calendars for those dates.
Yeah.
So just moving on to just awards. You want to talk about the awards?
Well, yeah, I mean, so a lot of people know that we have this black tie gala as a part of our S1 symposiums each year, and we're going to have another one in S1 2024. Importantly, our technology awards is going to include and recognize entrepreneurs and founders. We've done that this past year, and we expect to do that even more going forward. So again, this is a huge opportunity for us to recognize and celebrate entrepreneurs, but also to draw a line that says that this is really an important part of the ITSMF mission to build founders and help close that wealth gap. So stay tuned for more information about that upcoming gala.
Awesome. And then, as Robert mentioned earlier, the statistics continue to show that Black innovators, despite their enormous talent and potential, face significant barriers when it comes to assessing essential capital for research development and scaling their ventures. This isn't just a problem for these individuals, it's a loss for our entire innovation ecosystem. So here's where ITSMF steps in, acting as a catalyst for change. We actively search for competitive Black tech innovators and create pathways for them that weren't just open before. We're not only just talking about financial support, we're also talking about empowering these innovators with tools that they can use for a lifetime. So imagine a symposium. In this room, a Black tech innovator is not just pitching for capital, they're pitching for non-diluted capital, which means they can grow their venture on their terms. And as they pitch, they are being heard by some of the nation's leading Black tech executives and business owners. These are the networking opportunities that are transformative and that can change the trajectory of an innovator's path. This is our tech pitch competition. Now let's shift our focus to another essential element of a thriving ecosystem, and that's integration into the broader business landscape. Many Black tech founders have what it takes to become invaluable vendors and suppliers for major corporations. The challenge? Knowing where to start, understanding how to get a foot in the seemingly elusive door. That's where ITSMF's longstanding relationships become a game changer. We leverage these relationships to train and prepare these talented founders. We are not just talking theory, we are placing these businesses directly in front of corporations actively seeking supplier diversity. In real time, at our supplier diversity pitch competition, these founders pitch their businesses and services. They have a chance right then and there to change the future of their companies. In these initiatives, what we are really building is more than a set of opportunities. We are actively crafting a thriving, interconnected ecosystem, one where Black tech innovators don't just survive, they flourish. I encourage all innovators and leaders in this room to engage with ITSMF and be a part of this mission. Together, we can redefine what opportunity looks like and foster the ecosystem that thrives on diversity, innovation, and shared success. So moving on to the next thing that we'd like to talk about is just some partnership and sponsor opportunities.
Well, and they are here, but it's important to realize that one of the unique value adds that ITSMF brings is that we already have a robust ecosystem of partners and sponsors that works with ITSMF that has our vision in mind. And these partners are the basis by which we can extend our reach and begin to envision a much broader ecosystem that supports Black-owned businesses. We are leveraging this current partner group, but always are looking to solicit and bring in additional partners that share our vision of creating a broad ecosystem supporting founders. And so, if there is someone if there's some resource that can help us in this endeavor, by all means, please reach out and share that with us, because this is just so important for us as we move forward. Okay, so with the next slide, I wanted to just show you my partners in crime for making this happen. Any one of these folks is available for you to reach out. Certainly Denise and I, the development arm, Michael Whitley and Cedric Cobb, are contacting constantly and working on our behalf to help us. And Johanna Jones is the wind beneath our wings that it keeps pushing us to make something happen here. She is 150% committed to us building this ecosystem. And so she plays a continual pivotal role here. So with that being said, I think we want to field our last poll, and actually all three polls are still very available. Can we put up that last poll question? We're very, very curious to see. Oops. What did I do?
You're still there.
Okay. My screen just went blank.
It's okay. We still see you. Yeah.
So what do you see as the significant challenges for Black entrepreneurs that are impacting their business creation and growth? And again, we would love to hear your thoughts and ideas on this. We also open the door for questions. There are people monitoring the chat. If you've got questions for Denise and I, we more than welcome any questions, please.
And while people are coming up with questions, we do see the ability to create and complete realistic business plans. Without this, finding capital and resources to buy into the vision is very difficult. Yeah, we resonate with that. Competitors getting access being denied to Black entrepreneurs, leading to their business demise at an alarming rate. Yeah, that's tough. That's a tough one too. Startup funding and operational funding for the years 2 through 5. We find that, you hit your first 500,000 and you're trying to get to the next 500,000. And a lot of times it's just, you need a little extra cash to get you there. And so finding that capital, we're being intentional with getting folks in front of the right people so that they can get that capital.
Denise, I wonder if it would be valuable for you to talk a little bit about the actual academy. How's it coming together, and what's the curriculum and so forth?
Yeah. So our academy, we have 11 members that are going to be a part of our inaugural year. They range in anywhere from tech companies to even we got a nonprofit, and some are tech adjacent. We have a very fun lineup in store for them over the next 10 months. And that includes these pitch competitions, that includes supplier diversity fairs. We're being very intentional about the rooms we're putting people in so that they can have a leg up in creating those relationships. We know that a lot of the business that we do, once you get to the stage of being at $1 million in annual revenue, is just all about who you know for that next big project that you bring into your portfolio, or work or product that you get or another company that you get your product into. And so we're trying to make sure that we create that space for folks to begin networking and start the conversations. So a lot of collaboration. On the curriculum front, we are spending a lot of time talking about those financial statements and what they should look like, especially if you're planning to be acquired or merge or become an IPO, who knows, right? And so we have conversations early on in the beginning just to talk about what that looks like for you and your company. We've come up with some exciting topics around AI and how AI can be used effectively on the marketing end. Super excited about that. We have the supplier diversity teams coming in and actually talking to just this 11, and talking about how they can really get in the door for some of the carve-out initiatives at some of the larger corporations. So, just a lot that we're going to be going over. We're going to hear from some founders who are 15 million and above in annual revenue that look like us. And so they're going to spend some intimate time with this cohort and just sharing some of their stories and leaning into really helping build out this community so that we can thrive.
And I'm just impressed with the speaker lineup that you have for the Academy. I mean, it's really people who have walked the path, been successful, and willing to give back to others that are coming along.
Yes. Yep. So, do we see any questions in the box? Let's see here.
No, they're being very nice today. This is a very unusual ITSMF group. Usually they try hard to make us break out in a sweat. And I don't see anything that's aimed at us for that. So
Elaine asked, Robert, I think this is a great question for you.
Yeah.
So why ITSMF cares about entrepreneurs at this point in time?
Well, I kind of spoke to it at the very beginning. We've been working for many, many years to really try to create capability and support for business entrepreneurs. But more recently, it's become really apparent that the wealth gap is not shrinking, it's growing. And that in order to really close that gap, we can't simply count on people earning a paycheck. We got to build businesses. We got to grow businesses, because when we do that, not only do individuals get wealthy, but it creates a wealth infrastructure that has a knock-on effect that reaches far beyond the organization into the community, etc. And so ITSMF has just basically said, this is a strategic intervention, as every bit as serious as our academies and professional development for people in the corporate ranks. We need to treat it that way. And so this has become a focal point for ITSMF.
Yeah. We also got a question. Thank you, Robert, for that answer. We also got a question in the box of, how does ITSMF currently use AI in marketing?
Well, so that's an interesting question. It's off topic, but it's an interesting question. And actually, ITSMF uses AI quite a bit for marketing. But we recognize that AI in its current state is a good starting point for thinking about and creating marketing material, but it's not the end point. And so, if our marketing director, Dawn, was here, she would tell you that she uses a variety of AI tools as a seed starting point for our marketing development, but it's just a start. That she then has to take that and manage it and continue to massage it going forward. I'm a big believer that AI is a critical technology that will continue to permeate. And frankly, people are using AI all over the place and they don't even know that they're using AI. It's being so embedded in everything that it is everywhere. In fact, I'm giving a talk at BDPA in about an hour and a half about the fact that AI is in everything, everywhere, all at once. Remember that movie?
Yes,
Everywhere.
I do.
That's artificial intelligence. It's
Yes.
everywhere in everything.
Yeah. And, some of the key topics that we're going to talk about in the Academy are around having AI as an accessible primer for machine learning and deep learning, and having it geared towards a wide audience, irrespective of their prior knowledge of AI. And so we're going to dive into like, what is AI in a marketing strategy? How do we do that? How can we enhance the strategic marketing decisions? Personalize some of the customer experiences or optimize overall marketing efficiency overall. We're also going to talk a lot about practical applications of AI in marketing. So, like Robert was saying, it's in everything that we do, and some of us are using it and don't even realize it.
Yeah.
So more to come with
Now,
that.
now, this is an interesting question, Denise. What do you hope to accomplish with the launch of the Academy? So I think we both have an answer for this, but I'll let you go first.
Yeah. So with this inaugural Academy, we set key performance indicators for our Academy members. And one of them that everybody has is to grow their revenue. And so, we're being intentional about tracking those key performance indicators because we really want to make sure that folks are increasing their revenue, are adding more jobs into the economy if that's something they want to do, are making those connections and having collaborations together to generate more revenue. Whether they end up becoming one company and working with each other, merging and acquiring each other. We want to be intentional about that. And so my hope is that everyone who is part of the Academy hits every single one of their key or their key performance indicators, because that'll show success of what we were set out to do from the very beginning. So that's my hope.
And I think if I speak more broadly for ITSMF, our goal is to help business scale up to $5 million or more in revenue, because there's an inflection point there that if they can reach that level, the business starts to become self-sustaining and it becomes a flywheel effect of growth. And so what we're trying to do is identify businesses that are not at the very, very beginning, but actually have some critical mass, and trying to push them towards that point, that inflection point where they become really a sustainable business that will then have a knock-on effect for other businesses and for ITSMF. It'll actually create capability and resources for ITSMF as an organization.
Awesome.
Great question, though. I really like that.
Yes. What else?
Okay, so if they wanted to learn more about us, Denise, what will we tell them?
Go right to the ITSMF website, and I think we can pull that up on the screen as that comes together. And then we just got another question.
So yeah, that's a big one. So finish your point here, and then you can pivot to that.
Yeah. So to learn more, you should see it come across your screen. Visit itsmfleaders.org or contact Denise Smith at denise.smith@itsmfleaders.org.
Okay.
And Ty, submit a question right here in the chat box. You can do that. So the question is, how will ITSMF interface with venture capital firms for the Ignite Academy? Great question. So we have been working with several venture capital firms, or I should say, I have, and they are the ones who are providing me with speakers for the Academy as it relates to those who have already they're venture backed and they've already hit a significant amount of revenue and they're coming back to share their story. We're also trying to see if there's certain founders. Not everybody wants venture capital dollars, but if there are founders that want those venture capital dollars and want to understand more, we're setting them up to be ready. So get their data rooms ready with some of the financial discussions we'll be having in some of our curriculum. Um, and to talk to the venture capital firms that we have relationships with. So that is how we are interfacing and working together with some of the venture capital firms that we have relationships with.
Mm-hmm. So Tay, I hope you saw that you can submit questions just by typing in the chat. And you actually did. So how about this one, Denise? How do you define critical mass from a revenue standpoint?
What do we mean by critical mass? I guess, and you can't talk back. How do you interpret that question?
Well, so what I would say is, we do have a revenue threshold for consideration for participation. And then we have a revenue goal where we're trying to push them towards critical mass. And I would submit to you that our flywheel number is $5 million in revenue, but you can talk a little bit about what our entry level revenue measure is for consideration for the Academy.
Yeah, so the requirements for the Academy is that you have to have $1 million in annual revenue for one to two consecutive years. And the reason is because once you hit that first million, scaling from there, there's different challenges. When we look at, I guess going back to Ty's question on the critical mass, I think about sustainability and profitability and like growth capacity, and being able to, being able to understand, like, do you know what your financial capacity is to reinvest into your growth? And if you don't understand that, that's something that we want to work through based on some of the mentorships that we'll have in this program to get you there. So that's just one thing. Positive cash flow is another. When a company reaches critical mass, it's consistently generating positive cash flow. So, we want to make sure that you know what to do with that, and where that goes, and also your competitive positioning. So those are just some of the things, if that's what you're asking, Ty.
And then I think Sabrina Robinson asked a very interesting question. What does Ignite offer that similar programs don't offer? This is actually a fascinating question, Sabrina, that we have had to think long and hard about, because there are a lot of programs out there that quote unquote offer things like what we're offering. But we do think we're unique. So Denise, you want to talk to that a bit?
Yeah, this is a little bit of the secret sauce of ITSMF, but what we have to offer is, what we did is some research on what other programs are offering for this type of entrepreneurs. So entrepreneurs that are already at $1 million in annual revenue. And what we were finding from this is just, not concrete research. This is just from the experience of Denise running around and speaking to a lot of different people. We were just hearing that, yeah, the program was great, but I had people speaking at me. I wasn't really hands-on. I didn't really get a chance to make connections with the right types of people, or I didn't feel like I had a seat at the table for certain things that I wanted to have a seat at the table for. And so what we did is we flipped it to be where we're being intentional about bringing people into the room and showing them, like, you say you can't find these Black tech founders. Well, here they are. And oh, by the way, here's their capability statement to explain about, just what their companies do and how they can help you. So that's, for me, what I think other programs haven't offered, and, is going to be a game changer.
I would add on to that, though, and this is something that Denise herself has personally brought to the program. The mantra of ITSMF is to do all these things mind, body, and soul, to bring the whole integrated self to this. And one of the things Denise has made it a mission, her own personal mission, is to say, okay, it isn't just about making the money. It is about being holistic in approach in helping these entrepreneurs, you know, not only survive but thrive, and to do it in a healthy, holistic kind of way, mind, body, and soul. And frankly, no other program is thinking about it that way. That is very unique to ITSMF.
Yeah, what he means by that is, I'm introducing yoga sessions and mindfulness and sound baths and things that we really haven't done before. And I think it's critical for sometimes for us just to stop and have those moments so that we can feed back into ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So another question is, how does ITSMF Ignite Academy intend to partner, work with other mission-driven and focused groups like Europe, HISPI, Cyversity, BDPA, and etc. So I think that's a good question for you.
Yeah. So the Ignite Academy intends to partner because ITSMF intends to partner. ITSMF has been a long-time partner with every organization listed on this particular question. And in fact, we're here at BDPA right now at the national conference. I'm in Atlanta, ready to speak in another hour as a part of the BDPA program. So we view these partnerships and alliances very, very important. We lean into them. We have a VP who is responsible for relationships with alliances, Elaine Norman, who makes it her mission to work very closely with these organizations and to nurture and foster our relationships, and then to talk about what their strategies are and what our strategies are and where's their synergy and how do we leverage that synergy. That has always been a part of ITSMF and will continue to be a part of ITSMF going forward. And again, it's not just Ignite, it's all of the programs of ITSMF.
Yeah. I also think that, we've also leveraged a lot of our communities as well, like Goody Nation, Black VC. Oh gosh, I can go down a whole list of others. They slipped my mind, but we're leveraging other communities to help us partner and do more things together, so that we are just creating more deeper relationships within these communities, and as we build out our community for these founders. Sabrina asked the question, what does success look like for our year graduates? Well, you'll get to see it at our GIPD graduation. These founders will come up and present their key performance indicators and where they hit. And so you'll get to see if they actually were able to meet everything that they felt would be a key performance indicator of doing well in this program. So more to come on that, Sabrina, but that's what success is going to look like for these graduates of ITSMF Academy. Ignite Academy.
Any remaining questions? Well, Denise, if you wanted people to walk away with one thing from today's session, Denise didn't know I was going to ask this, so this is a question, but I'm going to ask it. If you had them walk away with one thought or concept from today's session, what would it be?
Intention. So we are being intentional about bringing these founders to answer a lot of the challenges that they have encountered over the years. So it's intention. Just walk away with knowing that ITSMF Ignite Academy is intentional about how we are offering our curriculum to help these founders grow their businesses and scale their businesses.
And if you turned it around and asked me the same thing, I would tell you that ITSMF has made a commitment to focus on building business entrepreneurship as a key part of its strategy. You know, ITSMF has been around for 26, 27 years. And much of that time was focused on corporate America and trying to drive successful Black leadership in corporate America. We're going to continue to do that. That part of our mission has not gone away. But equal to that now is also our support on growing and developing Black-owned businesses. And so if you don't take anything away, take away the fact that ITSMF is serious about this new part of its strategy.
Well, thank you, Robert. And if you have any other questions, again, you can reach out to me. I'm always an email away. So.
Well, with that, I think we'll pivot back to Sherelle. Thank you all for joining us, and I appreciate your. Have a wonderful day, and hope to see you in Austin.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much, Robert and Denise. We really appreciate you guys taking the time out and sharing that conversation with us today. We look forward to seeing all of the success of the launch of our Ignite Academy. So I don't want you guys, if you're there in the audience, don't move too quickly. Want to just do a few announcements with you guys before we head out of here. So ITSMF has quite a few events coming up that we want to make sure that you all are aware about. On August 31st, ITSMF will be in the DC area. We will be partnering with Accenture for our regional networking event. So you can go online and register for all of our events, but make sure that you register if you're in the DMV area for this regional networking event. We are almost at capacity. The response for this event has been very, very high. So if you are in the DMV area and you're interested in hanging out with the ITSMF and Accenture family, make sure that you register for the event. It is required for entry into the building. Also happening on that same day is that we are going to encourage all of our members and constituents to network together across the nation. So we are having several networking events. We'll have them in Atlanta, Chicago, Dallas, Houston, and Jacksonville, Florida. So if you are in any of those areas, you can register to attend our meetups. And then if you are a member and you don't see your city listed and you're interested in getting a meetup happening for your city, you can always email events@itsmfleaders.org and we'll make sure to get your city added to the list. They touched on this earlier, but we are having our Ignite Forum in conjunction with Worldwide Technology. So we'll be in St. Louis on September 13th. And this is an event that you do not want to miss. They talked about doing pitch competitions. So we'll be launching our very first supplier diversity pitch competition. We'll have networking. We'll have our forum happening. So make sure that you register for this event and meet us in St. Louis. And then last but not least, the moment you guys have all been waiting for. I know you all are so excited to join us in Austin. We will be there October 29th through the 31st. And registration is launching very, very, very soon. I think sooner than you think. So make sure that you are checking your emails and you're following us on social media so that you can see when registration opens. It is very, very soon, but make sure that you have the date on your calendar. And join us for our S223 Symposium in Austin, Texas. And you can reserve your room now as well. That is all that I have for you guys. Thank you all again for joining us for this conversation. Thank you to Robert and Denise. And we look forward to seeing you soon. Have a good one.